Hello, I'm Slew, and welcome to the grand tour of my LAN Cave. This room was put together like this for the purpose of hosting LAN or local area network PC gaming sessions, in addition to being my home office. LAN gaming, a bit of a rarity now compared to the 90s and early 2000s, but I grew up playing games like Warcraft, Quake, and Heroes of Might and Magic, and tons of other titles over LAN, and I'm just too stubborn to let it go. Something about having everyone in the same room playing together just makes it better. I have 9 seats set up in here with modern PCs. Sometimes we'll squeeze in a few extras. Everything is connected via wired Ethernet and set up so the computers are just plug and play. You just turn them on. Over 60 game titles so far on all these machines. And while it looks great now, at least in my opinion, this LAN Cave was a long time in the making. As you can see here, we started off much more modestly. No more dragging computers in and out on folding tables like the good old days. These days, my LAN participants and I are much more spoiled. Now I'll move on to a little bit more detailed show and tell. What you're looking at here is the far wall that you first see when walking into the room. Obviously, the most eye-popping item here is that Apple logo mounted in the center of the wall. I was gifted this neat piece of Apple history from my father, who worked at Apple for some 25 years or so. The mounted logo is actually a backlit light that used to hang in an office building in Charlotte, North Carolina in the 1990s. But when Apple hit some hard times, that office was closed down. My smooth-talking father, who's never really met a stranger, was able to convince the right person there into allowing him to keep it. It looks a little bit more eye-popping with the lights down low, so here's a look at that. The computer you see below the light is an Apple IIe. It's still in fine working condition. And then, keeping to the Apple theme, you'll notice to the left and right of the logo lights some retro Mac posters framed there. And then above those, some of my old game box collection on display. Besides the ornamental stuff on this wall, we do have 2 of our gaming PCs on either side of the Apple IIe. Now, I know some folks may consider it blasphemous to house all this Apple stuff in the same room with a bunch of PC gaming equipment, but 1, I do not agree, and 2, I do not care. Moving on to what I'll call the right side wall here is a 2 PCs set up with the StarCraft theme. I've got a lot of great memories playing StarCraft over LAN and Battle.net back in the day, and still jump on StarCraft 2 whenever I want to take a frustrating beatdown. The centerpiece there is a multi-piece frame Terran battlecruiser from the game, and then the art pieces to the left, bottom, and right are wood-carved logos that represent the 3 races from StarCraft, Zerg, Terran, and Protoss, with Protoss, of course, being the coolest and most superior of the 3 races. I got those logos from a shop on Etsy called Troll's Hut. Real cool guy, easy to work with if you're interested. And then along the top wall are several art pieces by artist Todd Lockwood. I grew up reading a lot of the Dritz novels, and Mr. Lockwood illustrated the covers of many of those novels. And in fact, several of those paintings are book cover pieces. The left side wall here houses my main PC as well as 2 others for LAN gaming awesomeness. A bit of a D&D theme on this wall, with the centerpiece item above my PC being a hand-drawn map of Faerun. Here's a better look at that piece. This came from an artist from Poland. You can find their work on Etsy under the name The Ternary Salamander. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Faerun, if you're not familiar, is a D&D setting. And below that centerpiece are several framed advertisements for the Baldur's Gate game series, which is undisputably the best RPG series of all time, and also takes place on the western side of Faerun, known as the Sword Coast. To the right of the centerpiece items are some fantasy artwork pieces by artist Keith Parkinson at the top, and then the 2 below that being by Clyde Caldwell. And moving on to the rear wall, this wall has more functional purpose than theme, the TV being mostly used for grudge matches of Tekken 2 or Street Fighter amongst our LAN party participants. And I know the wiring could be hidden behind the wall, but I'm just too lazy. The bottom shelves hold an assortment of nerdy books and other knickknacks, and the top shelves display more of my big box collection. Above it all is a piece by artist Jim Ferguson displaying the greatest hero of the Lord of the Rings, Mr. Samwise Gamgee, carrying Frodo to Mount Doom. To the left side of this wall, we have a few more pieces by artist Todd Lockwood along the top. We also have our LAN Party clan's official jersey posted on the wall. Somewhere along the early 2000s, my brothers and I started the SYC clan to discourage annoying clan recruiters in games such as the original Deus Ex and Call of Duty 1 from trying to recruit us into their guild or clan. SYC, of course, stands for Screw Your Clan. Tucked into the corner on this side, we also have a series of Quest for Glory prints by artist Jim Ferguson climbing the wall. 1 print each representing one of the 5 games. Quest for Glory, just a super unique, cool series, one of my favorite game series of all time. Spiraling across the ceiling here, we have an assortment of old game CDs that I think creates a nice effect. Unfortunately, due to my lack of foresight, the boxes for many of those CDs are resting peacefully in a landfill somewhere. Last but not least, we have our retro Apple gaming closet. It is a true time capsule and just about bursts with nostalgia. I can see it from my work setup and it makes me smile every day. Along the top is more of my big box collection, including some of the coolest ones. And below that we have another CD spiral that mimics the setup in the main room. The three big centerpiece items along the back wall, starting from the left, include a #1 print of a Todd Lockwood piece. This piece kind of stands out as not fitting with the retro game theme, but I think it's cool, so it gets to stay. The central piece is a map included in an ancient gaming title, The Spirit of Excalibur. The map is a form of early DRM. The shields along the edge guide you to answers that you need to play the game. If you don't have the map, you wouldn't be able to play the game. The final piece on the right there is a series of King's Quest pieces, illustrated once again by artist Jim Ferguson. Below the centerpieces are a series of game advertisements from some of my favorite classic titles: Icewind Dale, Heroes of Might and Magic, and The Legend of Kyrandia. And finally below that is a floppy disk lineup, kind of copying the CD idea above, just more retro. Here's a better look at the left side, which includes a working condition Power Macintosh 9600 200 tower with matching Apple peripherals. The featured art piece above the Power Mac is a Lands of Zine map from the Might and Magic game series. And then likewise, here's a better look at the right side, which features a working Power Macintosh 7500 100. The two Macs in here are networked via AppleTalk and thus can connect for multiplayer matches of games such as Marathon and Warcraft 1. The featured art piece on this side mimics the other with the Dark Side of Zine map from Might and Magic. That's about it for our guided tour. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. Up next, I just have a couple pictures of art pieces and other knickknacks not focused on in the tour. But I just got to say thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it. See ya.
Ah.